but I do live stream. Oh, hey, I forgot someone. Hey, Griff. You're up and at 'em this morning. Tablet, so the screen's a lot larger. Hello! How's everybody doing this morning? It's a beautiful day here in southern Michigan. How was the coffee? I'm not a coffee drinker. Had my bowl of cereal and that was my picking up for the morning and come out and got at it. Yes, we have sandy soil. We got, I think my mom said she had about 3.9 inches in her gauge. That rain ended Tuesday morning. This is actually, I was back out in the field on Thursday. That gives you an idea how sandy and well drained our soil is. This field's acting a little sticky this morning. I was working it and planting it yesterday, but that you can see there was water in this spot here. It's pretty much dried up, and been kind of working from the sandier stuff to the wetter stuff to give it time to dry, work some up, and then plant it. Moving along, but subsoil is good and moist, so first thing in the morning it can be a little sticky and just from the moisture wicking up from below. But it seems to be working up real nice, breaking up good. Talking about thunderstorms tonight, so try to get done what I can. Couple spots in this field. I can see another one down there. Oh, let's see. You have all your corn in? Yes, actually, I've had my corn in for a while. I think I finished that on May 8th. Then rain and cold weather and wind started back up, and shoot, they just got my corn sprayed. I think they did that on Thursday. Into where I don't know what day it is anymore, but so. Cornfields are green, but it's not necessarily from the corn because some of it we had to switch our program around because corn was up out of the ground. We couldn't spray what we were going to spray. Hey, Griffin. Hope you have a great day today. Thank you, awesome 1347. You are awesome. I'm just glad they got the spray on. It's supposed to get a shot of rain tonight, which will probably help the spray get in the ground and start killing those weeds. It's just been another one of those years. It seems like this is the new normal. I'm going to drive over here. Let's see, 2018. Yeah, I had this field in the wheat. Switch angles here. And I chisel plowed it. Northern Michigan, Lake City. Anyways, I hit something with a chisel plow. And that ended up being it. I couldn't, I got it out with the backhoe, but I couldn't lift it. I had to just roll it out to the edge of the field here. Give you the kind of idea of the kind of rocks I have to deal with. You would think after owning this land, being in the family for 100 years, they would have found and gotten rid of all those, but ooh. Lake City is, how far north is that? Are you up where things are open to back up in the state? Good morning. Tractor for my farm, what would I have? Boy, you know, I haven't really gave that a whole lot of thought. It's a good question. I'd definitely try out a Massey Ferguson. Some of the very last whites used Massey Ferguson drivetrains. We were selling Massey before we closed. I was impressed with what they had. Stay in the AGCO family of things. My dealer nearby is the Massey dealer, AGCO dealer, so parts and service would definitely be close by. Anything but John Deere, yeah. The guys that do my spraying, they run John Deere equipment. Local, well, I guess somewhat local elevator, but that's their choice. So yes, you're opened up up in Lake City. From what I'm hearing, you guys are going to get hard this weekend with all the trolls down here below the bridge coming up to visit. Everybody's tired of being cooped up and want to go somewhere. I think it might be a good weekend for me to stay home. Run a cleaner. Hey, farming, fixing, and fabricating. Good to see you. I'm assuming this is Andy. Would ever run a cleaner? You know, went to somewhat service school on them, and there's definitely some design features of the cleaner I like. The accelerator rolls seems like a real good idea to help clean the crop better. And biggest thing I can see with the transverse rotor is probably it's going to just get sized out as these combines keep getting bigger and bigger. There's just only so much room for a transverse rotor. Can't make it longer before the combine starts sticking out the ditches. So, not that a huge combine is in my future anyways. Fire keeper. Oh, yeah. Can't talk smack about deer, Andy is here. It even rhymes. I like farming games. I also have toy tractors. I have quite a few toy tractors. I played Farming Simulator 15, which I'm sure they're a lot further along. That was free. It's kind of interesting. Andy has thick skin. Awesome. You got it to be on YouTube. It's amazing how much this got sticky again overnight just from that moisture wicking up from below. Oh, switch gearing. straight. Getting a little dustier on the hilltop. Give you a little tip that a friend gave me. He was doing it on his car, but I thought I'd try at least on the rear window of this tractor. Since it kind of slopes outward a little bit, it really catches the dust. And he says he waxes his car windows, regular car wax. And so I thought I'd at least try it on the rear window of this. Worst I'd have to do is maybe clean it a little more often, but I don't want to try it on the front. Didn't want to take a chance of going down the road and messing things up. And so far, I'm really impressed, man. I wiped that wax off, and that window's just like brand new clean. And when I was fueling up this morning, the dust just wiped right off there like nothing. We had misty sprinkles yesterday for a while, and so it was making the dust stick to the window. And boy, it cleaned up real easy. So the side windows I did as well. The front was the only one I didn't do on this tractor. But sticking to the sides either. So I kind of thought you'd be getting smears, and I don't know. But I only did the outsides as far as that goes as well. But boy, it's working good. Let's see, someone said something. Just don't wax your seat. What product am I talking about? Car wax. I couldn't, the auto parts store didn't have the regular McGuire's wax, so I was using their wash and wax, which I think has a little bit of an abrasive minor buffing compound in it, but I just waxed the windows just like I would wax the paint, and let it dry, and then wiped it off, and man, streak free. And I've got the front window, I've got water spots on that. I wiped it off, but they didn't want to come off. Because, like I was saying, I had a bit of misty rain yesterday for a while. The back window, man, the water spots, everything just washed right off. The front, I can still see, I wiped the dirt off, but there's still that film on there that you really need to wet it down in order to get it off. Let's see, what is the white 2170 field boss? Boy. I am not, you're stumping me. There was a 2270, which was I'm trying to think, it was at least a Minneapolis Moline engine. I'm trying to remember if they use the Oliver drivetrain in that. There ain't a lot of those tractors around. Are you thinking the white 170? The 270? I recorded some video on this the other day, and I gotta edit it together. I haven't put anything out in a while. I'll do a live stream, just quicker and easier. And 2170 field boss. I'm use vinegar and distilled water. It'll remove water spots like a champ. It's good to know. That spot's still sticking. As I was saying, let's see, Thursday morning, I get this ready to go. I got a really well-drained field I figured start on, and that one worked up good, and I got video of that I'll edit together. I have been using Lightworks. Been pretty happy with it. It takes a little while on my old laptop to generate the audio waveforms, and so a lot of times I'll just get them all set up and then let it do its thing while I do something else. And then once you get going there, used to edit them on my phone, but once you start getting up around half-hour videos. Hi from Australia, awesome. Would I ever buy a cockshut? Yeah, you know, I've got a yellow 1600 Oliver, an industrial. I've got a green 1600, actually got two green ones. And I don't have a red one. I thought, you know, I need to find a red 1600. Then I'll have the stoplight edition, red, yellow, and green. So yeah, someday I wouldn't mind adding a cockshut to my collection, but it would probably be an Oliver built one and not a Canadian built one. Let's see, do I have any help on the farm? Occasionally, not so much this spring with the whole quarantine thing going on. I got a couple good friends who can help me on the farm. I store their tractors at my place, and they get to come out and play with them and help me out. And then, of course, with everything going on, they haven't been coming down. But generally in the spring, I pretty much do all of it myself. I hire my spraying done. I hire my spraying done, hire my fertilizer spreading done. So that definitely frees me up to be out in the field more. They can come in and get my spraying done in an afternoon or somewhere around a day. Usually takes them a day or two with fertilizer. You got a couple of different, you know. The other thing is variable rate. It's pretty expensive to get all the equipment for that. Just to me, have them do it, and I don't have to have another person or hire someone to work. They can come in and in a couple of days get the lime and fertilizer all spread. But let's see. Oh, I was going to say I got it recorded, but so Thursday morning, get fueled up. Try a little bit right across the road from my house just to make sure it ain't going to be too wet. Seemed to be all right. See my spray guy go by. He called and said he was going to check on stuff, and they were hoping to get out the field and try to get the spraying done for the next rain or wind event. It was already getting pretty green out there. And so I swing by where he's at. I just park along the edge of the road with this tractor and the disc packer back there, leave the flashers on. That field ain't out of the ground, so we decide, yep, we can spray it the way we were going to originally. Decide, you know, make all our decisions. I go to hop back in the tractor, turn the handle, and all it does is turn, and it doesn't open the door. And I'm blocking a whole lane of traffic. Fortunately, traffic was light that morning, but that full tank of fuel, the tractor idling alongside the road, it wasn't going to go anywhere. Had a screwdriver and a pry bar in the toolbox and a little jimmy in on the window. I was able to get a window open and reach around and push the latch back and get the door open. But the thought of smashing a window out crossed my mind. Let's see. Always pull the roller behind one disc, pretty much always. Well, how many acres do I farm? About 900 tillable acres. Yeah, 4 to 5K with all those acre tractors. I have more horsepower per acre. England, awesome. Come on. Oh, Alistair McCormick. Hope all's well with you. It's the Irish guy here. Just having lunch. Welcome back. I'm trying to go back and check some of these old comments. The tractor I'm in is a white. Yes, this is the white 4225. I have to save the Olivers. That's right. Been getting lots of messages trying to go through and check it out this morning. I guess Cole the Corn Star's got a 1950 he's selling. I don't know. 1950 will get you some views on YouTube. Does for me. I don't think he hurting for him as far as that goes. In my underwear. Wow. Yeah, that would that might be window smashing time if you're standing around in your underwear. I guess hard to say. The next biggest after this one would be the 2155, the one that I overhauled this last winter. .55 would probably be a close second, but how many tractors do I have? What did I count? I think I came right up with 45 that run. I got some parts tractors, some that are fairly complete that don't run. I guess boneyard tractors are probably parts tractors anyways if they're not running. But yeah, if you include the whites, which I guess when I'm driving a tractor that's now 35 years old, I guess that's part of the collection. Mitchell, hello from Springport. Cole's 1950. Apparently he has two of them. I didn't realize that until this morning. It's been a while since I watched him. Getting all these messages, so I thought I'd go try to do a little catching up when I was eating my breakfast. And I did catch that apparently that was a different one. Zipping through. Thank you. Tractors are second to none. I appreciate that. I think when I get a new door latch, I'll get two of them, because the last time this happened, it was on something internal on it broke. Whoops. What state are you in? I am in southern Michigan. Not near Midland. For those of you who are wondering if we're underwater, we apparently our area was spared. Somewhere around 4 inches is all we got all together, and we're fairly high elevation around here. There's this particular vantage point. I can't see them, very many of them, but a couple of radio tower, there's a TV tower, there's towers all around us because we're relatively high ground, about 1,000 feet of elevation above sea level, so flooding isn't usually an issue for us. It's amazing to me that we have so many wetlands and swamps when we got so much elevation and sandy land. I guess it just shows that we get rain on a regular basis. It's worry when a 30-year-old tractor seems quite new. I know. Yeah, let's see. My spray guy, he lives the other corner of the county from here, and he said he got 5 inches. Talked to another guy. He got over 4. He got 4.5. Someone from Portland said they got over 6. So I don't know. There's something weird. I don't know if it's the geography, but the storms will be heading right towards us, and they'll kind of split. And knock on wood, I guess that's a good thing. It's like the tornadoes will like be heading towards our area, and then all of a sudden veer off one way or the other. So I probably just jinxed myself. But I don't know about Superman. say, jack of all trades and master of none. I can tell it's starting to warm up in here. This needs a little refrigerant in it. I'm thinking by lunchtime I'm going to be noticing. But by that time I plan on switching back to the grill and putting beans in the ground. It's supposed to have thunderstorms tonight, so I'm going to finish working this field up and then get it planted before the next round of rain comes. Hey, Farming, Fixing, and Fabricating, you still watching? Wondering how you're coming out there. I've been falling behind on watching videos lately. Seems like with the rain we've had, I would have had time, but... $17.50. I've been hearing a $19.50. Needs some engine work. I was trying to... Been getting all sorts of notification about Cole having an Oliver for sale, and overall it's been a $19.50. I was watching a video of his this morning and cleaning out some old garage they want to take down, and there was a $19.50 in there that actually looks nicer than the one he uses. All the white American tractors. No, I just have the green 80, the only American I've got. I know there are some guys out there that have all the colors of American series. Fender tanks, standard or optional? They were optional. This one does not have the fender tanks. I've gotten a set of white fender tanks. I did some swapping for, but I either need to make some mounting brackets or find some mounting brackets to put them back there, but a little more fuel cap capacity would be nice. I'm not sure how much they would cut down on the visibility. Jake Ziegler, if you're still watching, you have fender tanks on one of your whites. I think it hurts the visibility much. Shouldn't be too bad. I don't work this tractor as hard as I used to, so generally a main tank will keep me going all day. Take a lot of bandwidth. Let's see, I'm on LTE 4G, so that's covering. Am I coming through clear? That was part of the reason I decided to do it in this field. I had like 3 bars and was getting a pretty good signal. I haven't heard anybody complaining about the video quality being low or anything. So, but at home, I know my home internet, I only have a 1 megabit upload speed, and that can be kind of tough at times to do a live stream. Loud and clear, awesome. Let's give you the front view again. Plus on YouTube. American, yep, it's the silver one. Yeah, I remember watching this video with the American. It was like a family reunion, and I think he gave a hayride out to the pond or something like that. I remember right, it was a silver one. Came from the dealership he worked at. Got to meet Mike Less at the Farm Machinery Show this year. Didn't stop and talk. He was talking to someone else, so I just made a quick handshake, thanked him for his videos, and went on my way. But wouldn't mind talking to him sometimes, since he worked in a white dealership, and they also had Gale, which is pretty much what we were. Mr. Versatile, yep. Yeah, I've watched Oliver 66 Farm Boys What Killed Oliver video recently. You know, to say, I don't know, there wasn't any one thing. There was definitely lots of smaller things that led to Oliver's demise. There was definitely some big screw-ups in their history. I tell people, I guess it's proof that you can have a great product, but if you ain't got the right management behind it, you're still not going to succeed. That in hindsight's always 20/20. It's easy to see where they screwed up after they've done it. But still, enjoyable video. By rain last week. We did. It just started raining Sunday morning. We got rain on Thursday. Held off long enough for me to get the field I was working on finished up Thursday morning, and then it cut loose, and it was starting to get dry towards the end of Saturday, but Sunday morning it just started raining. I don't know if we can get any real hard downpours, but it just did not let up until Tuesday morning. And between that day on Thursday and we got Sunday, Monday through Tuesday morning, we had almost 4 inches in the gauge. So it's times like this that I'm glad I've got well-drained soils. Whoops. Rolled the wrong way. Yeah, the fenders. Yeah, when Mike Less, when he was at the Farm Machinery Show, he was at the Versatile lot. Interesting to me how YouTube is kind of changing, I don't know, farming exactly, directly, but probably changing the marketing, and most of the ads I see on YouTube are for farm products. Of course, they tailor them to the stuff you look at. For my father-in-law, hey, if you're watching, he lets the ads play out to help me get more revenue, and he said there was one that It was a commercial for some dog food, and it went for 45 minutes. He finally just let that play and grabbed his wife's phone and watched the rest of the video that way. How rocky is your ground? We have plenty of stones. I get up to the end of the field, I'll pull up by it again. I got quite a few more people watching than when I was first going this morning. But 2018, I had this field to wheat, and I chisel plowed it with the deep till shanks to do some busting up, but mostly get the rocks worked up to the top, so they're easier to pick. And I spent probably a week out here just day after day with my rock picker picking rocks, and it's a lot better than it was. It's amazing. You get all the rocks picked, you think you're going to be good for a while, and then you start hearing clang bang. They're still down there waiting for the next generation to come up. But I had one that I hooked with the deep till shanks, but it wasn't that far down. It had to have been one we've been hitting for years. This particular field's been in the family for over 100 years now. So surely I couldn't have been the first one to hit it, but I had to bring the backhoe out and dig it up. And I couldn't even lift it with a backhoe. Not that I have the biggest backhoe in the world, but this tractor I'm running, basically an Oliver painted silver. Probably, I mean, it uses the over and under like in the Oliver, but it's just got a heavier duty version. 6-speed transmission, very similar to the Oliver, pretty much the same as the Olivers. Casting. Hey Brian, a friend of mine just texted me. He's watching right now. Yeah, I imagine you guys are wetter over there, Brian. I got a couple of low spots I'm going to have to work around, I'm pretty sure. I'm amazed how wetter the ground got overnight just from it waking up from below. It was really nice yesterday afternoon. And it's still working up good today, but a couple of the dips and stuff, it just, you can tell it just, that moisture worked its way back up again. Sun gets a little higher, things will dry out and the dust will start flying again. Of green across the road is my first planted field of corn, unfortunately. I mean, it's coming up good and everything, but between rain and wind, just hadn't been able to get it sprayed until just 2 days ago. So looks like I'm starting to see a little yellowish out there. I think tonight's rain will help the chemicals get working. But so someone was asking, I don't know. Nice. 1755. Someone was asking about the rock situation. And I'll drive over here to this one. I had to roll it off the edge of the field. Let me get the headlights back down here from this rock. There we go. It was a doozy. I just had to keep rolling it all the way to the edge of the field. Of course, it wasn't at the edge. And am I going to hit it? Nope. So the transmission drivetrain was a total new design. This basically uses transmission and final drives like on a white 2155. Pair of them coupled together in an articulating joint. So there are a lot of design similarities and parts. Some parts compatible with Oliver's, yeah. Built in the same factory as an Oliver, designed by the same people that designed Oliver's. So yeah, it's got a lot in common. But I don't know if I'd call it Oliver with silver paint. Now like the 2105, 270, those are, you know, they change very little on those. They were pretty much Oliver's with silver paint, you know. Various updates, cabs and whatnot, but a lot of parts compatible between them and the Olivers. Let's see. Hey Chris, how's it going? Good, good. Thank you everybody for tuning in. No funk transmission in here. Only the newer ones, like that 6125 that I planted corn with, that's got the funk in it. This one, all the transmission components were built in Charles City. Oh, I do think they, ring and pinions, I think they had made somewhere else towards the end there. Was it a place in Illinois? Dean Barker was telling me we were talking about how ring and pinions are supposed to be a match set. How many plates on disc? Woo. You know, I just replaced all the front ones. I'm trying to remember how many I had to order. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the wing, so 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. So yeah, 36 blades on the front. I need a big white combine like Jake. Yeah. I always liked the 9700, 9720. I always thought having one of those would be neat. Of course, they're getting to be old machines and parts are getting harder to find for them. I mean, Jake keeps his going. I guess the biggest challenge would be finding one that ain't a total wreck to start with. When those combines came out, they were the world's largest combine. It is a 1950 Cole has for sale. It looks great. Rear tires look good. Is that the one they just pulled out of the shed? I have an old Oliver corn planter. Where would you get seat plates? Boy. This place to do is probably get on Facebook. There's a lot of Oliver guys on there. Finding new ones are probably going to be tough, but I've been getting lots of them in my news feed from the different guys selling them on Facebook Marketplace. There's a guy in Texas, Larry Svalak. I hope I'm not butchering his last name. Larry probably has some. He has tons of Oliver parts. He's bought out old Oliver dealership inventories. He's got a lot of stuff. So it would not surprise me if he's got some. If I got a harder to find part, I'll call Larry. Not too often he doesn't have it. When I overhauled Blaine Bolte's 1655, could get brand new mains from AGCO other than the thrust bearing. they did not get me a thrust bearing. We didn't want to go with the Chinese bearings. We wanted good American-made bearings, and called Larry up, and by golly, he had a couple of those on hand. It's 10 under, I think is what we ended up going with, and so that kind of slowed things down for a couple of days there, trying to just round up a full set of bearings before we ground the crank, make sure yeah, that Cole's 1950. Yeah, it looks better than the one they use. You know, if they're gonna keep the other one, man, I think personally, yeah, I could be swapping some sheet metal or something. I hope he. I haven't gotten to watch all of his video, but hopefully he knows about starting in Detroit. That if they've been sitting a while, they can the rack can get stuck wide open and they will take right off. So you want to. The ideal thing is to pull the valve cover off and make sure none of the injectors are sticking, because that's what will hold it open. And just make sure everything's free, and then also be ready to throw something over the air intake. Make sure the emergency shutoff works right before you try to fire it up, so you can kill it in case it decides to run away. Pull those discs. Oh man, not this 25 footer. I think that would be a struggle. The 18 footer I got a video of him discing when I worked up ground for oats back at the beginning of April, and pulled that one pretty good. If I really set it down, it would really make him bark. With our sandy soil, it's you can make a disc go down in pretty good, especially when you got good moisture or first thing in the spring. First dries out, and the ground's heat from the frost, and just everything works easy. And but 25 feet, I think, would be a little too much for him. You either spin out. I'm still amazed that he pulled them 9 bottoms that time. Soil was just barely dry enough to plow. Conditions were pretty much perfect. Turning 31, grew up on Oliver tractors. I'm worried 20 years from now that I'm going to have a hard time getting parts for them at all for them. Yeah, you know, I wonder about that too. I mean, there's used parts. But then there's some parts that, you know, either the used ones get used up or they're still being used. And some of the tractors, I guess, as long as there's enough collectors and people really trying to use them, someone will probably start making parts. What I hope on some of this, I'm surprised some of the aftermarket hasn't started making over and under parts. You can get clutch patterns, discs and stuff, but some of the shafts you will only get through AGCO. And I'm just seeing on Facebook that Brad Mayball was posting there, right, doing some addition, going to get some CNC machines, and are eventually planning on getting it to where they can make any and all of the transmission parts for all of our tractors, including 3-speeds. So I guess there's hope there. You know, got businesses like that that'll pick up the ball, and as long as there's the demand, I think. And I don't know how well 3D printing is going, if it'll eventually get to where they can print a part, do some rough or some final machining and heat treating on it, if it'll hold up to horsepower. I know they have 3D metal printing, but is it going to be as strong as a piece turned on a CNC machine or something like that? Not that I would necessarily, you know, print a shaft at home, because then I'd also have to have something to harden it. You got to check your tolerances and stuff after you do all that. but some creative people could start doing that, and the cost per unit should go, you know, hopefully down enough to where it makes it feasible for someone with a small machine shop to do hopefully something like that. But in the meantime, years ago, this tractor was all my doing. Semi would bring me a load of gravel for the drive. He was way overloaded as far as that goes, but I was trying, so he got stuck when he pulled in. So I'm trying to pull him out with this tractor, and it's not going too good. I thought, well, I'll shift up to overdrive. Maybe that little extra bump will give me a little more bite and get the jerk will pull him out. Well, it didn't. All the tractor started doing was just hopping, and it was so bad I was bouncing in the seat. It took me a couple bounces just to hang on good enough to get my foot on the clutch pedal and stop things and grabbing for the throttle. I was just bouncing all over, and everything seemed to work all right after that. But then about a year or so later, I shifted up to overdrive. Fortunately, I was right by home. Just put the disc in the ground, and crunch, 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 and it comes to a stop, and several of the teeth on the gear that drive off the counter shaft had broke off, and I'm pretty sure I stressed them that time when I was pulling that semi out and shifted. I should have left it in direct, and I turned left instead of right because there's mud to the right. So anyways, you know, those were the teeth that failed, but they, of course, had to go through the counter shaft on their way down to the bottom of the transfer, the over under case, chewed up teeth on the counter shaft. So had to order one of those. It was available, but it was on back order for, it was a better part of a year before I finally got that shaft. I did shopping around some of the newer, bigger whites. Oh, hell of them. Like the 195, the 170, they use the same counter shaft, the same basic over and under. The back end of it couples up differently on those, and couldn't find any used ones because basically those tractors were still getting used and just had to wait. So this tractor sat idle for about a year, waiting for AGCO to get get their order of counter shafts filled. That's excuse me, should have brought some water with me. That's the thing about this one. This one has what they call the extra heavy duty over and under. The case is deeper, and that gives it a much bigger counter shaft. So it's big heavy bugger. There's more bearings in that counter shaft, more tooth engagement. Just lets more power get through. And then, well, it wasn't what failed, but but it took the brunt. It still got chewed up. There's a rock. Anybody been asking questions? Well, anyone running 4270s would be having trouble. Yeah, got a neighbor that's still running a 4270 last I knew. But yeah, the 4-speed transmission parts on those are getting to where, from what I understand, you just gotta, you better have a machine shop on those. They didn't make a lot of them. That was, to the best of my knowledge, the only application for that 4-speed. That 4-speed power shift that they used. So yeah, 4270s are neat, but I'm not sure I was a bouncing and off. But yeah, it just. This field is pretty much right on at 70 acres. It's a part of the original homestead, 160 acres basically, that we live on. My family's owned this for a little over 100 years now. There's a roughly 15-acre woods to the right here. And on the other side of it is home. This is one of those nice fields. It's about the only thing, the downside to the length of it. It's great for working it, but come harvest time, getting higher yielding corn, it's getting to where you can't get down and back. And I guess I'm just that. Grain carts are great if you got a bunch of people working for you, but to me, we spend so much time trying to prevent compaction. You know, don't drive across the field a bunch of times, and then fall comes around and everything goes out the window. It doesn't matter if it's muddy. Guys are out there in their combines because they got tracks, and I mean, yeah, you got to get the stuff harvested, but you also got to plant that ground next year. They're out there with 2,000 bushel grain carts, and I guess they just figure they can hit it with a ripper again next year. So to each their own. It's not my land, so you know they can farm it whatever they want, but that's not my way of doing it. Yes, the 2255, I've got one of those, the Cat 3150. And then the later ones use the 3208. Excuse me, they kept using their relationship up with Cat, the 4150, you got the 3208, 4175, 4180, 4210, and then even this 4225 has a 3208, but it's the factory turbocharged 3208. This is the only model to have a factory turbo on a 3208, and then the 4270 used a Cat engine. I'm trying to remember which model that one is. Maybe someone can help me out here. I always forget that one. It seems like it's a 3306, or I can't remember. I suppose I should turn around before I look at the questions. I gotta say, the field right across from the fence line right here as I'm turning around, those beans were planted April 7th. And I really had my druthers if he was really risking it. But by golly, they are up out of the ground. Looks like he has a pretty good stand out there. We had more than one snow event since April 7th. Lots of cold rain and winter. It's cold. I'm finally seeing volunteer corn out here. Not that I want to see any, but but you know, your occasional ear falls on the ground before you get to harvest. The deer don't eat it. Eventually, it should start growing the next year. For the longest time, that stuff just was not growing. 3306. Thank you. I have a pail of Oliver plates, and I think a few cans too. See, yep, last guy, great job on your channel. We have a lot of Oliver tractors around here. I hope my driving's great. Some good places to get parts for them too. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of the one dealer. There was Darges in Wisconsin. I'm trying to remember what town they were in. Got to know Sam some through the club. Great guy. And Oliver, Wisconsin seemed to be pretty good Oliver country. It just seems like what I see online, I see more for sale there. I think dairy farmers like the Oliver tractors. They just seem to have a real good presence in Wisconsin. And that's the thing, you know, if there's a good presence of tractors still around, there's probably someone still working on them. There's someone that knows where to get the parts. I mean, AGCO they still doing a pretty good job of supplying parts. And then between that and the aftermarket, you know, places like Corvus, some of the stuff is actually easier getting out than it was 10, 15 years ago. Hey, Ed! Is it morning out there on the West Coast? Hopefully the rain's let up for you. Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Oh, I've been on for an hour already. I gotta say, doing these live streams just makes time seem to go faster. 6:30 a.m. What would you say? Dry today? Maybe. That seems to be the story for you, Ed. The maybe part. Hopefully you guys catch a break and can get out in the fields here. I know they keep changing our forecast back and forth. Last I looked, the whole next week is just a chance of thunderstorms every single day. Well, gotta get busy. Have a great day, everyone. Make videos of them. Oh, who was that? Everything's bouncing around. Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Police chase going on this road right out here. And they come all the way from Battle Creek. And for the life of me, I don't know what they were thinking, but the person they were chasing decided that they would turn left right up here where the road was probably about a 5-6 foot drop, fairly steep drop off on the road there. I don't know if they thought they would cut across this field and catch that dirt road off to the side and what, but their car bottomed out, hung up. It wasn't even wet at that time, but so they took off on foot across the road, found a hunting stand, and pulled up in that until the cops found them. But of course, somehow or another, they get out of their car and there's junk out. They had a pillow, because that ended up out in the field. Coyote or something drug it off in the middle of the field and tore it up. But it's just like, what went through their mind? I'm going to turn left here. You know, sure, there's a huge drop off, but what the heck? Cops will never follow me there. I suppose if you can understand the minds of those kind of people, then you'd probably be just as nuts as they are. Right now, I'm starting to get dust on the back window. Yes, I farm in Michigan. Good morning, Robert Taylor. Yes, I farm in Michigan. And a favorite, Oliver. Oh, I guess I have to revert back to Dad's Super 88. I always tell people that I will sell that right before I have to move my family into an old cardboard box. That is the first tractor I ever drove. My dad won the national plowing contest with it 2 years in a row. It's just always been here on the farm. So a lot of sentimental value attached to that tractor. Say I do enjoy Herman. I don't know, pretty much any of them I hop on and I'm just like, man, I like this tractor. really like the 2050. I just like the sound of that engine. Tour. I said in my last live stream that if I got to 10,000 subscribers, I would do it. So I'm gonna. Fortunately, getting these beans planted, some of the tractors are kind of back behind bulk bags of soybeans. They're going to be kind of hard to film, so glad I'm able to get some of these beans done. That opened up things for getting in there. Didn't think I'd hit it quite so quick, but the vermin getting stuck video really took off. Most of you enjoyed it. Some people got a little wound up by it, but I guess that's on them. Window, the old thump to let the dust shake off. We're actually getting dust again. My grandpa was an auto dealer back in the day. Last tractor. Come on. That one. 1550 gas. I'm about 30 minutes from Charles City. So I'm all from Iowa. Awesome. I have been to Charles City more than once. What was the requirements for the plowing competition? I've got the rule book. That'd probably make a neat video to just sit down and kind of go over the rule book. Probably make a good live because then you guys can ask questions as I'm going through it. But let's see, they were given a set amount of land to plow. I think it was an acre, but don't hold me to that. And they had a certain amount of time to plow it in. So they could, get off and sight things and put out stakes. Different levels seem to have different rules of things you could and couldn't do. I've got lots of old home movies that I need to get around and add to YouTube here of some of those plowing competitions. And in some of them, they would be striking out their back furrow, their first pass. They plow out a little spot and then plow it back in to get it all covered good. And they would get off them by hand and shape that back furrow in spots and just to get everything just right. And in that particular competition, they could do it. The world competition that I've got the rule book from, they were not allowed to physically alter the soil by hand. It had to be done with the plow. And but yeah, so I'm like, well, okay, you gotta have to bury all the trash, because back then that's what they wanted. No residue on top, just soil. And let's see, they judge for straightness, the lack of, or the cover, the evenness of your headlands. You had to make a back furrow. They judged you on that. They were measuring along as you're doing it to check your plow depth. On those competitions where you could get off and actually touch the soil, I was like, well, gee, you know, what's to stop you from just going out there with a rake and fixing it all? Well, they only gave you so much time, so if you were off the tractor and not plowing, you might not get your field done, and they really penalized you for that. And then you had to, I don't recall seeing any headlands on any of these competitions. I'll have to read more of the rules on that. But they have point systems for, you know, your straightness, your depth, your cover, and they would add all those together and tally them up. Whoever had the most points won. Dad won they had two competitions, the level land plowing contest, which was what Dad did, which was judged on straight, flat ground. Then they also had the contour plowing, which I do have some videos of that. They must have been thinking about trying out for it, but I don't remember hearing about any of them winning any of those competitions or doing much. But contour, you had to plow around curves and hills and stuff, and so it had its own challenges and sets of rules. Dad won. When he won the first time, he was the youngest person to ever win the plowing competition. Oh, hey, Ed. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. And I love the sound of a 1755 too, Adam. Those 310s, they might have their notoriety, but I just love the sound of them. They just got a snappiness. But so yeah, Dad won in, what was that, 61, 62, it seems like I remember these things. And of course then he got to go on to the world level, and the first time he went to was held just outside of Toronto, Ontario, which was good. It's relatively close for us. And I was thinking he took that same Super 88 to that, but I recently found a YouTube video from that competition, and Dad is in it, and he's driving a brand new 770, which Oliver was pretty good at that there in the late 50s about supplying tractors, and they worked together with Grandpa. My grandfather coached 4 different guys to national championships. George, Dad, there's at least 3. And so they worked pretty close with Oliver. We were not too far from South Bend where the plows were made. They'd go down there. There was a plow that they kind of built from scratch down there out of Oliver parts. I wish I still had it. I don't know what the heck ever happened to it, but and I've got pictures of it. That one they sent to, let's see, well, anyways, the first year Dad went to Toronto. The next year he won again, so he went to Austria the following year. By then, that was, I think, 63, and White owned Oliver and tightened up the purse strings on that stuff, and Ford actually had to supply him with a tractor and plow in Austria. He didn't ship anything over, and we'll go around that wet spot. I don't have anything to pull this one out. He scored, what was it? I've got his medal from the Austrian competition. I think it was 12th he scored there. It's in the display case. 12th place overall. He did say plowing in Europe was a lot different. What they expected a plow to do over there. They wanted each slice, the kind of furrow slice, to have a peak. And the idea was that would come from fall plowing, and that that peak on each slice would catch the snow and cause it to drift and conserve moisture in the winter time. And then the other thing I've heard is it goes way back to when they still seeded by hand, that they would do ridges, they would go out and toss the seed by hand and then pull a log or something over, and I'd knock the ridges down and bury the seed. But he said it was quite different. And then when you go over there, they had time to practice and set up a plow, but when you're using a tractor to plow that you're not even familiar with, and you got to use what you're given. Kind of hard to. Do I have an 1850 with a Perkins? Yes, I do. It's kind of in pieces right now. Gonna get painted purple one of these days. Let's switch back here. That. Leaving tracks with the wheels on the back. I lifted up to go over the mud so I didn't fill the crowfoot up. I got a bunch of slides, of course, also from the plowing competitions. There's one, 3-4 years ago, I had a couple of wisdom teeth pulled out. So I was sitting around home and decided to start scanning in these old slides while I was basically taking it easy, and pop this one in. It's pretty dark. I almost even worse scanning. But do some stuff to brighten it up, clean it up, and it ended up being JFK. It was the 1960 national competition in South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Richard Nixon was there. They were both there. It's interesting to me. Here it is, a competition out in the field, and all these people are the men, the women. They're dressed up as good as if they went to church. It was a big social event back then, and even people running for president would go to a plowing competition to stump for votes. I'll have to make a video slideshow of some of these slides one of these days. That'll take time, but it's pretty interesting. In those slides, it's pictures of that plow I was mentioning that was custom built by Grandpa and the guys at the South Bend Oliver factory. They sent that plow and a Oliver 550 over to Ireland for another competition. I'm pretty sure that was George Lineker that did that one. And the story on that one, how it was, because George was the one that's telling me about this. They took the tractor down to Detroit to get put on a ship, shipped over to Ireland ahead of time for the competition, and the plow. Well, they fly over and get there the day before and get out to the competition site, and there's the 550 in pieces. Someone at the docks decided they could fit it in a smaller container by taking a bunch of stuff apart, and the tractor needed a bunch of reassembly. Fortunately, Grandpa had taken his tools, because everybody over there was metric or British Whitworth or whatever was in there, but no one else had SAE American tools. So they spent the night, the crew got them a generator and some lights, and they spent the night putting that 550 back together so that it was ready for practice sessions in the morning. World Championship is in Ireland 2020. Well, that's cool. It was in Minnesota this last year. I was really tempted to head out there. I can't remember what I had going on, or it seemed like it interfered with our county fair. My daughter has a lot of things she enters in the fair, so I want to be home for that. But it would be a neat thing to go and see someday. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled in Ireland in 2020. Starting to clear up now. It looks like clouds are rolling back in. September. Well, that's far enough out. Hopefully they can still do it. I don't know if Alistair McCormick is still watching. You can comment on how things are going in Ireland. Oliver might have something. I mean, last I knew, you could still get nozzles for them. It's been a while since I put ones in the 1550. I think that was just last summer, and it's the same nozzle as an Super 88. Granted, I guess I had those down in the basement. Still had some parts on hand. If you need a complete injector, there's definitely used ones out there. Once again, get on Facebook and some of the Oliver groups. I do like the guys. Oh yeah, great guys at Corvus. They're always willing to give me a hard time, but they always take good care of me. Very knowledgeable people. They know their stuff, and if they don't know, if they don't have it, they probably know who to send you to get it. So they're definitely, they're not a one-stop shop for everything Oliver, but they got the knowledge to point you in the right direction, so they're just very helpful, so they're a good place to call. I would think any diesel repair shop or fuel system shop, that just depends on where you're at. I know there was one, I'm trying to remember the name of it, they used to advertise in the Harper magazine. They're in Estherville, Iowa, and they specialize on working on the American Bosch stuff for some of these older tractors. They would ship. The injectors ain't so bad. It's the injection pump, but you need a new head. You pretty much have to have one custom made, and you're starting to talk some serious money. I can confirm up there. Right now it's 3 weeks. It's kind of almost turning into last year again. We didn't start out quite as wet, but we've got rain predicted every day for the next week, so my saving grace is well-drained sandy soil. Let's see, do you have any
videos of stories about your family dealership. Love hearing stories. I'll have to go back and look.
There are a couple of videos, Adam, of some of Grandpa's Hello Mrs. K, and old videos from different things that Grandpa had filmed. I don't think any of them were at the dealership. Well, there are a couple. There's one where there's a combine backing right in the front yard, and that one's Oliver's Go to the Fair. That one's pretty much either at our place or at the fair, and it's standing right out in front. I know exactly where they're standing when they filmed this, and there's just tractor after tractor pulling out, including a brand new old style 88, corn pickers, and this is all in color too. Grandpa was a bit of a shutterbug because he was willing to, for it to be the late 40s and to have be making color films, home movies, that was, that had to cost some money, I would think. But that one, I really enjoy that one. It's only a few minutes long. First time through, I just let it play, and then I replay the video with some commentary and slow it down and stop it. So yeah, check that one out. It's in there. Just stop by, have coffee while I was putting up kitchen ceiling. Great to see you. Livestream, Chris. Don't think the ceiling's going to get finished now. Have you had the 4225 since new? Love your videos. Your White and Olivers. Yeah, 4225. We bought this new. I remember as a kid, we had a field day just down the road for White. They it must have been right after the TIC buyout. Excuse me. And pretty much all the tractors there were red stripes, other than a couple of ours. 155 was down there demonstrating a new chisel plow. And I remember asking Dad if we'd ever get an articulated tractor, and he said no, he didn't. He felt they took too much room to turn around, just too big and cumbersome for our farm. And then a few years later, we get this tractor, and I'm riding around with him. I said, Dad, you said we'd never get one of these, and he said, yeah. And that was when near the time of their bankruptcy, around '85. I mean, this was an '83, and that kind of tells you they had excess inventory built up. We're trying to move it, and they marked tractors down, trying to get some cash in to avoid bankruptcy. They were to the point, I mean, all sell piecemeal out the whole company. They were in such dire straits before Allied come in and picked up the pieces. And so Dad got this tractor pretty darn cheap. It was, as he said, it was just too good of a deal to pass up. And been a pretty good machine. So yeah, that's definitely helps. If you have them when they're new and you take good care of them from the start, they definitely hold up a lot longer. What is the oldest tractor on the farm? Right now, that would probably be 1827. That's the model number. 18 horsepower was the belt, or the PTO horsepower, and 27 on the belt. How they rated them then, and that's what they gave them for model numbers. The predecessor to the Oliver 80. I haven't had that one running in a long time. I need to do a startup video on that. It is a hand crank, so I give it a crank every now and then. The gas has all been drained out of it. Even the coolant was drained out of it. That could end up being a bad thing. The seals and stuff dried up, but nothing froze. So it shouldn't be too much of a struggle to get it to fire back up again. Let's see. Mention owning 4 Detroit Olivers. Other than 990 and Herman, what others do I have? I have got the 1900A. That's been in a couple of videos. And I also have a Super 99 with a 371. And I don't think that's been in any of the videos yet. That one's got a cab on it. It was a South Dakota tractor. actually a pretty nice original tractor. Haven't done too much with it because it doesn't have a PTO. So I've done some disking with it, play with it here and there, drive it around some. But it's knocking the dust off the back window. But yeah, I bought a PTO unit that was actually part of a Massey 98, which was an Oliver made for Massey. I got the gearbox and the shaft, but I still need a clutch and a cover. I need a cover for it. So I'm trying to get all the parts to add PTO onto that Super 99. Then I can put it on the dyno, do other fun things with it, run on the auger. Good morning, crazy day. You should do an equipment tour. Yeah, actually I am planning on doing that. My last live feed, I said if I got to 10,000 I would do it, and I thought I was gonna have a little more time to get around for it because I was only around 8,500 subscribers, somewhere in there at that time. And then the Herman video really took off and shot me up to 10,000 in the short order, so now I got to get around and do it. With the forecast this coming week of rain pretty much every day, I think I'm probably going to be able to get a start on it. I'm supposed to have some sunshine here and there between the rain. So I can open up some barn doors, get some good light in. Got to pull a couple things out to really get some good shots of them. Yes, I am planning on doing an equipment tour. It'll probably be over a few videos. I kind of want to tell the story of each tractor, or at least what I know of it. A little history on them. Kind of break it up into smaller videos, so it makes it easier on me too, because editing takes a while. Sorry, Chris, Fork Tongue World Plowing Championship is in Russia this year. Oops. British nation is in... Oh, okay. What would we do without Google? Yeah, you know. There's a lot of good stuff out there if you just... A lot of times it's just using the right search words. If you go into... the World Plowing Organization has all the records online of past winners and stuff, and you can go back to Dad didn't win, but they also have all the competitors from the different countries. So if you look back around 63 and 62 and 63, or 63 and 64, you'll find Leroy Losi as one of the competitors from the United States. Oliver only used a 3150. No, partway through 73, when Cat came out with a 3208, that basically replaced the 3150. I don't know if they totally discontinued the 3150, but Oliver switched to the 3208. It seems like most guys want the 3208 and their 2255. I mean, honestly, horsepower-wise, they were tuned to what Oliver wanted, so there was only I think they only bumped the horsepower up 1 or 2 when they tested the 3208 versus the 3150. Both engines could do more than that. And often would. But, you know, you got displacement, 636 cubic inches on that 3208. I'm trying to remember what the 3150, that seems like 574 is what's coming to mind. But wasn't really a horsepower jump, just an improvement jump. Newer engine. From what I understood, the early 3208s and the 2255s had trouble with dropping valves. I know our dealership had to replace an engine in one that we sold because it dropped a valve and it was still under warranty, so they got a complete new engine. Yes, David, that is correct. I think it was mid '73 when they switched from the 3150 to the 328. When I was younger, I'd remember all this stuff. Spot over here to the right that I will definitely be going around. Looks a little squishy. Our 5055 is pouring out of one. Stop it. The lower 3-point arms or the upper 3-point arms? It's the lower one. It's pretty similar to the video I did of the 1755. You got to pull the PTO unit in order to open it up, and then you take the bolts out of that clamp that holds the two lower rock shafts together, slide it out on each side, and pop the seal out. And chances are the needle bearing's going to fall apart, and so then you have to take the snap ring out to get the needle bearing out. Some guys just clean it up good and pack all the needles back in with grease. Seems to work. I do believe it takes a smaller bearing than the 1755s. I'd have to look that one up. If it's the upper one, all you got to do is get the 3-point hitch arm off, which there's a snap ring on the outside, and if everything's loose and everything, you slide that off, take a drill a hole in the seal, and if you've got a like a dent puller, you screw that in there. Otherwise, just put a screw in and attach a pair of vice grips to the screw, and then pry out with the vice grips and pop the seal out, and you can just put a new one in. I still have the early 66. Yeah, lowers, the procedure, like I was saying, it's pretty much the same as the 1755. They're designed the same way. 1555 will have the dry PTO clutch, so that's even easier to remove the PTO than a 1655. Unless for some reason you got a dual speed 1555, which I think was an option, but I've never seen one. But yeah, just pull that PTO unit out. They have to pull the big plate out, and then it's all right down there. So yeah, the lower ones are pretty much the same. Getting closer to that wet spot. Put the backer just a little bit. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, gonna be fun. Let's see. Luke, what's the PTO rare option on the 990 and Super 99? Yeah, you know, especially if it was a Western tractor, they was a big horse, and they weren't going to use it on the PTO. So I don't know if I call it rare, but it's not super common. My 990 came from out in the Dakotas, and it's got PTO on it. But the Super 99 does not. So I don't know if you can say 50-50. And of course, anybody that's got one at a show, they want to trick theirs out with all the options. So they end up finding a PTO unit and putting it in there. So what you see at a show ain't always representative of what was actually built. I'm not against guys putting options in. I'm just saying, you know, it does kind of make it seem like it throws the numbers off. You might go to a show and say, man, there sure were a lot of front wheel assist Olivers, but well, actually there weren't a whole lot, but they just all are at this particular show. So, let's see. How's soybean planting going? It is going good. Oh shoot, I should get this field done today before the rain moves in tonight. I'll be down to about 100 acres left. The field I got left has got some wet spots in it that I don't know, I'd probably have to work around a few spots right now. So that's kind of why it's been waiting until last. So in some ways it might be alright that it ain't planted. If we're going to get a bunch more rain, I'd probably be out there replanting wet spots anyway. So, or having trouble with emergence because it crusted over afterwards. That field does have a little bit of clay in it, spots, so it can crust. Overall, crusting is just not a real issue on my ground because of the sand, but I won't say it never happens. Come on. We're going to put a white 1610 lower at 65. We want to add a power beyond. Bring up the joystick now. Power beyond be the same? No, it is not the same as the 1755 video. It's a little bit more involved. Kind of even hard to describe without pictures, but there's a port you gotta take a plug out of, and put another plug in a little farther back. I kind of discussed it in my there's a video about the update on planting the purple 1850 from pretty much a year ago. And while I didn't actually do it, I discussed the ports and stuff, point them out. You pull one plug out, put a smaller one in farther in that blocks the flow, so it has to go out through that hose. You run that to your joystick, and then you run another hose back to the another port on the side there, and that returns it back to run everything else. But these 1655 is an open center hydraulic system, so there always has to be a way for the oil to move through. You can't deadhead it and just stop it at the end of a line. That'll blow the relief valve. You don't want that. Whereas the 1755, that's closed center hydraulics, a variable displacement pump, so it can essentially go to pumping zero. It only pumps when the volume is needed. When the pressure drops, it pumps more volume to keep the pressure up. So, yeah, find the 1850 update video. I do not recall discussing it, that one. From England, hello. They have canceled World Plowing match. Still looking for a low C. Oh, okay. You're looking for a LOC in the history. I thought you meant they were looking for a LOC to compete. It's in, you know, the last time I looked up, what was it? They rearranged their website or something. No, they've taken that off. I had to use the Wayback Machine. If you waybak.org, the Wayback Machine, it's from Internet Archive. And what they do is they just randomly take complete snapshots of websites. And so you can go back and see what was on a website back in like 2005 or 1998, something like that. And they for the most part, it's all there. Some things don't get copied. It depends on how deep their software went into copying everything. But you can go in, so that's what I did, use the Wayback Machine to look up an older version of the website when they still had the contestants listed. So yeah, it might not be on there now that I think about it. But so yeah, if you're ever wondering what happened to your old favorite website or something, there might still be a copy of it out there. Go to the Wayback Machine. Then you just search for the website, and it'll show you all the times that it's got copies of it, and you can pick a particular time to help narrow down whatever you're looking for. It's pretty slick. We did not sell any 9700, 9720s. That was probably, if anything, just too big of a combine for our area at that time. I don't know, there just weren't any big time operators around here, I don't think. You didn't see the big combines. Probably our 8900 that we had on the farm was probably the last white combine we sold. I don't know, it just was getting harder to sell combines, white combines. Guys were worried about parts availability even back then, and I don't think my family pushed them as hard once the combines had been built in Battle Creek, Michigan, which was very convenient. They just drive over and pick one up, drive it home, and then they moved to the Cockshut factory in Brantford, Ontario, and made shipping a little more, but other dealers had to ship. But I don't know, it just seemed like, I don't know, they lost interest in selling combines. We just didn't sell as many combines towards the once they turned red. It just sold some 7300s, but I wish I knew the whole story on it, but they just didn't seem to do as much combine sales there. But my opinion on them, I've never run one. I've looked at them. I mean, they were quite the machine for their time. I would have to say probably their biggest shortcoming was that Perkins V8 in them. I think they might have been a little underpowered, from what I understand. Sticky there. But Massey Ferguson kept using the design for quite some time afterwards. Updated it and everything. I'm trying to think if there's still using a version of it now. I think the new Ideal combine is probably going to replace all the others, if I had to guess. Just want to say thank you for creating videos. I love your content or your channel. Thank you very much. What your Herman Oliver tractor did you buy Herman new? Herman is a 1960. No, I've only owned Herman for about, I think, 4 years now. And he was originally sold new in Nebraska. And that's where he got his name. Of course, being 1966, the Munsters were a popular TV show. There had been, and here's what was a huge tractor back then. Big tires, big horsepower, Detroit diesel engine. And so the neighbors nicknamed it, started calling it Herman because it was big like Herman Munster. And the name just stuck. It's the story I've been told. And a friend of mine out in Iowa, he bought it from the original owners. And then I bought it from him. So I am the third owner of the tractor. Knock some more dust off the window there. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Hello from Sweden. That is awesome. Thank you. Caught up there. Right to the left. That's part of the county drain that heads over to where Herman got stuck. That county drain has been a source of grief. Yeah, we'll call it grief, for many, many years. 37. Before that, it was an open ditch. And of course, you know, old clay tile that's what, 80 years old or somewhere in there. Started to fail, but what really made it start to fail was right over there. It goes under that dirt road. And I think it was back in the 80s, the culvert going under the road was getting rusty. So the road commission digs it up. They don't dig out the old one, they just throw a new one on top of the old one. The old one's pretty much full of dirt, and so that raised the water level about a foot. And of course that caused back pressure, which made the old clay tile start to blow out. And so now it's, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And right now it's going back into not working mode. The Drain Commission does not want to tackle it. I can't tackle it, not totally. Follows the edge of one road for, what was that, a couple hundred feet or better, right in the ditch, under the ditch. I can't be digging that up. Crosses my field, I can dig that up. Then it crosses another road. They probably frown on me digging that up. And I'd probably get in trouble for trying to maintain a ditch that belongs to the road or the Drain Commission. I don't know, but a few years back, they had a blowout right along the edge of the road, and they had no choice but to fix it because it was going to take out the road. The water finally found its way through and was lining out the roadside. The road was going to disappear before too long, so I got part of it fixed, and that's why it's been working pretty good the last couple of years. Who does the cartoon artwork? That is Doug Nelson. Fantastic artist. He's an Oliver guy at heart. He lives out in Washington State. I've never actually met Doug, but we converse through Facebook, and he was picking my brain about Oliver stuff at one point. I had this idea about doing a t-shirt, and so we got talking and gave him some ideas, and he worked with that and came up with that design and just did a fantastic job with it. I'm just really super happy with it. Let's see, come on. I bought your Herman shirt. Now I'm playing the waiting game till it turns up. Yeah, that can be. My mother ordered a hoodie in March, and it just showed up Wednesday afternoon in the mail. They came all the way from the Netherlands and made it. They're having between staffing with social distancing, and they're actually selling a lot of t-shirts right now, you know, not just buying all their other stores. People are buying t-shirts, I guess, while they're stuck at home. And so they're running behind, so it's taking a little longer than normal. When I first started doing this, it would take 2 to 3 weeks, and I'd have my shirt. I, you know, ordered a couple shirts at first and wanted to make sure they weren't going to be junk before I started selling them. Made a couple adjustments to color and stuff to get them the way I wanted them, and they weren't taking too long to come through. Now it could be a little bit, but so far they've been really good to work with. Teespring has, as far as you know, if you got a complaint, get with them and they'll get it straightened out. I guess to me that's the definition of good business. We're all human, we all make mistakes, but it's the places that do something to fix their mistakes. This is the difference between a good business and a bad business. Let's see. You're doing a fine job, sir. Have a good day. Thanks for the vids. Oh, hey, Chris Thinker. Hopefully you're still watching, haven't ducked out yet. Glad to hear I heard you were a little under the weather for a while there, so I'm good to see you back on here. Let's see, I heard, whoop. Down.
Whitty has died. He was the first to win conventional and reversible world championship.
Oh. How old would he have been? Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. My mount's kind of a little loose. Oh yeah. Getting to that point where I wish I'd put some air conditioning juice in, but don't go in as good when it's colder out. And by the time it's warm out, I want to be out in the field, so I'll just tough it out. The 2155 still got R12 air conditioning in it, and it's working good. So this afternoon I'll switch to planting beans and have this all done, and I'll have my air conditioning. Thought about doing a live with the 2155, but you know, if I get a little crooked disking, it's no big deal. But I start wandering all around with a grain drill, that starts costing seed. Gives everybody something to laugh at, but at least with solid seeded beans, it doesn't take too long. They fill in, and you can't tell they're crooked. Got some neat old, speaking of old slides and stuff I was talking about earlier, just about this spot, probably a little bit more to the left there to the north, but photos of my dad. He used to plow and plant an 1800B and what's that? I figured it was a 5-bottom plow. I figured there were probably 14s to come up with the right width. And then he'd pull a Crowfoot Packer, kind of, smaller version of what I'm pulling back there. And hooked behind that was either a grain drill or a corn planter, depending on what he was planting. And he'd do her all in one pass. They kind of caught on in this area. There was a few of our customers that were doing it. Some even were putting anhydrous ammonia down with their tractor. They had a tank on the tractor. And plowing that down, pulling a packer behind that, and then the planter right behind it. Well, if I disappear, it's because my phone ate my battery faster than it was charging or something, or my charger wasn't hooked up good. The dealer so much for lawn and garden equipment. I have a Yard Boss that I use for snow blowing. We sold a couple of Yard Bosses. I've got a Minneapolis Moline lawnmower that we bought new. We weren't a Minneapolis Moline dealer. My guess would be we probably worked with the Minneapolis Moline dealer, and or just they were able to get us one or something. It was right before they came out with the Oliver lawnmowers, of course. I'd rather have an Oliver one, but both were built by Jacobson. Oops, that packer back down. So yeah, they sold a couple of the white lawnmowers. Howdy from near Chelsea. Thanks for the bids. Thanks to learn more about some Michigan farmers' activities here in our state. Hopefully you guys are able to do some farming over there in Chelsea. What 1800 series had 310 in it? The C series had the 310 diesel in it. And 310 gas. I think they have the 310 gas. I know my C Series 1800 has a 310 diesel in it. I think the B Series had the 310 as well. Excuse me, but I'm trying to remember if they stayed on a 283 for the gas engine, or if they bumped up those up to 310. The A series were not. Motors and rotors, hello. Mine is a GT65, but yeah, at some point, MTD bought White's tractor, or not tractor line, but the lawn and garden equipment line, and I think that was kind of who was making them for them. They switched from Jacobson to MTD, and then MTD just ended up buying the lawnmower line, and shoot, you could get, last I knew, White outdoor products until recent times. Essentially, if it said they were out of it by the time of the White Farm equipment, I think that's about the time that they sold it off. So if it says White Outdoor Products, it really isn't affiliated with White Tractor, White Motor. But if it looks like, if it has the silver and gray stripes on the side, then it was sold by a White Farm equipment dealer. Mr. Cake wants to know, have you got any of the David Brown engine Olivers used to drive David Browns in the UK? No, I do not have any David Brown built powered Olivers. There is one in our neighborhood, less than 10 miles away. Don't really know much of the history on it. I just see it parked out in the guy's farmyard every now and then. I don't believe we ever sold any. Oliver only had them for a couple of years, and then David Brown decided to make a stronger effort to enter the American market. Just didn't really feel like they wanted Oliver competing with them on their own product. So that's when Oliver went shopping again and ended up with Fiat for their compact tractors. Let's see. 71. When I see the modern plowing competitions, every now and then it gives me this low battery. I'm betting I got a bad connection going on here somewhere. Seems like, I was going to say, the one I've seen in the World Plowing Competition, pretty much it's all rollover plows nowadays. Don't know if they have any antique classes. The videos I've seen on YouTube, it's all the modern stuff is rollover plows, which essentially gets rid of your dead furrow. So I wonder how they score on some of that. Butchering your name, over by Chelsea. How much rain did you guys get over that way out of this last event? jinx myself, but making pretty good time. It seems like by now, usually a rock's gotten stuck between the disc blades, and I've had to get that out.
Bizarre, the owner's manuals are just like the ones for field bosses, styled like a field boss, but the text is white outdoor products.
Well, you know, boy, now you mentioned that, they might have been calling it white outdoor products there for a while. That might have been one sold by a dealer. I think the GT1655 was sold by the dealers. I'm not as up on that lawnmower stuff as some of the other things. I know my family did. They felt that when they switched to MTD for the supplier, that the quality went down. Maybe that's why they didn't sell as many. Later years, we had been a Woods dealer, and so when Woods had their zero-turn line of mowers, we started selling those. We're not really located close to any town, so for a long time there, I don't know, we just didn't have people coming in for lawn and garden stuff. It was pretty much just farmers. And that's who we'd probably sell a lawnmower to.